Viktor Orban has found a new friend in Warsaw. Anyone with even a little knowledge of geopolitics can see clearly how European unity is disintegrating. The Union is at sixes and seven and is on the point of collapsing completely as a result of severe energy shortages. Even the countries who formerly backed liberal EU diktats most vehemently are now attempting to steer clear of it. All of this has given EU critical nations more confidence, and they are now seeking to work together to confront the EU. Furthermore, now Poland has made the decision to join the squad. Hi and welcome to TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Atul Mishra, and if you haven't subscribed to the TFI Global channel yet, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates. Let's begin. After being daggers drawn for a month, Warsaw has decided to go hand in hand with Budapest. According to Euractiv, Poland has opted to rekindle its ties with Hungary. Polish PM Mateusz Morawiecki now looks to work with Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban in a variety of political arenas. While talking to state media, PM Mateusz Morawiecki stressed that Hungary and Poland need to be unified like never before. In his interview, Morawiecki said, "We need to work out a formula in which, by clearly naming the discrepancies, respecting the sensitivity of Ukrainian friends, Poland will be able to conduct joint activities with Hungary in those areas where we share values and interests." For years, Hungary and Poland remained unified. However, this steady friendship soured after Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban refused to take a clear stance against President Vladimir Putin following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. When Viktor Orban made it plain and clear that Poland and Hungary have parted their ways, the situation reached a breaking point. Morawiecki echoed him by citing that Viktor Orban is entirely accurate. However, as time flies, situations change. Poland is aware that trouble shared is a trouble halved. The nations are now on the same page since both despise Brussels, which may be the reason why Poland wants to forge new ties with Hungary. Poland here is taking a complete U-turn. If one remembers correctly, ever since the Ukraine war started, Poland has been among the most hardline supporter of Ukraine. However, as time passed, situation between Brussels and Warsaw started to become bumpy. The nation started to chastise the EU on a variety of issues. For instance, Poland started to question promises of big guns like Germany, which had vowed to provide new tanks and weapons to Warsaw in exchange for old Soviet-era weapons given to Ukraine. Later on, the EU started to twist the arms of Poland by creating thorns in the disbursement of the Pandemic Recovery Fund and other allocated funds for Ukrainian refugees. Poland, in a counteroffensive, decided to deny entry to Ukrainian refugees through its borders. Polish Interior Minister Mariusz Kamiński recommended to the government an extension of the state of emergency on the Polish-Belarusian border, making it harder for migrants to cross the border. The minuscule clashes between Poland and the EU persisted until Warsaw made the decision to completely separate from the EU and threatened to train its cannons at it. The de facto leader of Poland and former Deputy Prime Minister Jarosław Kaczyński declared that the country would no longer comply with the European Commission's demand to release 35 billion euros in grants and loans from the EU Pandemic Assistance Program because it violated the rule of law. This was the exact moment when the EU understood that Warsaw had gone rogue. Poland now wants to incline with Hungary like never before because for them, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban is a knight in shining armor. EU despises Viktor Orban, as per them the Hungarian Prime Minister was expected to be defeated in the general elections. However, the leader won with a resounding margin. Orban's motto has remained clear throughout the years, standing totally against the EU's liberal diktats. Viktor Orban didn't condemn Russian aggression. Even after being condemned, the guy did not cut commercial relations with Russia. Hungary even kept creating roadblocks for the EU in implementing sanctions. Now that's some bravery over there despite knowing West's arm-twisting tactics. Poland is aware that establishing links with Hungary might strengthen its stance against Brussels and potentially aid in correcting the economic mismanagement that Warsaw brought about as a result of the conflict in Ukraine. A good relationship with Hungary also means a good relationship with Russia. Now Poland is almost ready to abandon EU policies, just like Hungary. Now it's up to Orban to decide whether or not to accept the proposal. But for the time being, Poland is no longer EU's vassal.